recollecting moments on campus, and I know that it's a very special place for each of you as well. So I would like to take a moment to recognize my fellow board members who are here tonight, past and present. If you're here tonight, would you please stand? Thanks to each of you for your service to the school and to the university. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes work that goes on here, and we exist, our board exists to support the mission of the school. Certainly this is a very exciting time for the school, and many of you are aware of that as well. Now it's my pleasure to introduce the Dean of the Indiana University School of Education, the former interim dean, Dr. Terry Mason. Dean Mason is an accomplished teacher, researcher, administrator who began his career in education nearly 40 years ago as an elementary school teacher in Southern California. He brings a comprehensive knowledge of the school and the university to this position, as well as an ongoing commitment to the excellent domestic and global programs in research and teaching for which the school is widely celebrated. Terry has served the IU School of Education for 23 years, beginning as an assistant professor of curriculum and instruction in 1994. From 2004 to 2012, he was director of what was then Indiana University's Center for Social Studies and International Education. In recent years, he has directed IU's participation in several international initiatives, including the USAID-funded Afghanistan Higher Education Project and the South Sudan Higher Education Initiative for Equity and Leadership Development. In addition to the deanship, Terry continues to serve the school as a professor in the Department of Curriculum and Instruction, where he teaches courses in elementary social studies methods, curriculum theory and practice, and teacher education. He's also held administrative positions at the campus level as an associate dean of faculties and associate vice provost for research. Terry earned his master's and PhD from the Graduate School of Education at the University of California, Los Angeles, and also holds a bachelor's degree in history from UCLA. Prior to becoming a faculty member at Indiana University, he taught at Central Connecticut State University and the University of Georgia. Terry's research interests have focused mainly on civic education, teacher preparation, and social studies curriculum. He has been a frequent presenter at national conferences, while internationally he has lectured and conducted workshops in more than 20 countries. Most recently, he visited Poland, where he met with representatives from the Polish American Freedom Foundation and the University of Warsaw to establish new partnerships with our School of Education. In December, Terry will travel to Thailand to meet with several groups of School of Education alumni. There's no question the university, the school, has made a great choice, and please join me in welcoming Dr. Terry Mason.
Not surprisingly, people ask me all the time about what it's like to be the dean, or whether I like being the dean. So I get a chance to answer that question fairly often. And I always say that it's great. I'm really enjoying it. It's really a privilege to be able to do this, to lead this wonderful school. Then I'll also say, but not everything is great. Sometimes I have to do things that are not altogether that pleasant or gratifying. But tonight. This is one of the things that I get to do that I really, really enjoy. And to be in a position to present an honor for outstanding graduates of the School of Education makes me very proud to be a part of this great School of Education and this great institution. As Dean of the University School of Education, I have the privilege of working with tremendously talented faculty, staff, and students who make a difference close to home and around the world through their outstanding work. The School of Education literally touches every corner of the globe, from our deep relationships supporting rural and urban schools in Indiana, to our efforts to support women's education in South Sudan, from placing student teachers in Chicago public schools, the Navajo Nation, and 18 countries across 6 continents, to providing counseling support to underserved middle school children right here in Bloomington. In these ways and in so many more. Can you hear now? Should I start over? In these ways and then so many more, the School of Education is tackling the most pressing issues of our day, and indeed making a world of difference. But nothing makes me more proud than the accomplishments of our alumni. Over 68,000 strong and living around the world. It is the work of these talented and dedicated individuals that makes a world a better place through the power of education. Tonight we gather to honor four such alumni who have dedicated their lives to doing just that. These individuals have excelled in their professional and civic lives, and in doing so have brought great pride to the School of Education of Indiana University. But before we honor this year's awardees, I'd like to recognize some special guests with us tonight. And let me start close to home, so to speak, and I'd like to introduce to you my mom is here tonight, Naomi Mason. She didn't know I was going to do that, so way to go, Mom. Good. And then I'd also like to begin by thanking our IU Emeritus Jazz Trio, Lou Paul George, Gary Potter, and Alex Valdez on bass. I still keep threatening to bring my guitar and sit in, maybe next year. I'm also very pleased to recognize former Distinguished Alumni Award recipients who are in attendance tonight. So we have one of those. We have Toby Stroud. Please stand, Toby. I'd like to particularly honor and thank Toby for her years of service to the community through her work at Middle Way House. Thank you so much. And Dave already recognized our alumni board members. I'd like to add my personal appreciation for their advocacy and their service under Dave's leadership. In doing so, I'd like to recognize past presidents of the alumni board who are in attendance here tonight. We have Doug Williams and Jamie Jacobson. Also, please join me in welcoming Dr. Gary Crow, our Executive Associate Dean for the school here in Bloomington, and also Dr. Robin Hughes, Executive Associate Dean of the School of Education at IUP. Wow, Robin. I tell you, I couldn't do this without those people. I really did. We have a former member of the University Senior Leadership with us tonight also, who I'd like to recognize. Dick McKay, former Vice Provost for Student Affairs. Dick? And I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge several other individuals who are with us this evening. Stacy McCormick is the 2011 Indiana Teacher of the Year and also serves as Vice President of our Alumni Board of Directors. Stacy? Steve Moberly and Nancy Hamlin are both former national chairs of the IU Alumni Association. Steve and Nancy? Great to have you with us. We also have several members of our previous class campaign scholarship committees with us tonight. Please join me in recognizing me again, Jamia Jacobson, Sandy Moberly, and Martha Street. Are we here? These individuals provide great support to the school and to the university through their wonderful volunteer work. And many of you are likely aware that we have our very own Chancellor's Professor Emeritus and recipient of the IU President's Medal of Excellence, George Koo. George. We're truly honored to have all of you here with us tonight. It's such an honor to serve as Dean at the school that has such accomplished alumni, advocates, and friends. Without the work of the individuals like those just recognized, our reach would be more narrow and our impact less significant. But it goes without saying, at the heart of the school is our talented and committed students and faculty. Several of our students, currently faculty and emeriti faculty, are with us tonight. Please stand and accept our appreciation for all that you've done and will continue to do to serve the school and advance education throughout the world. Our faculty and emeriti, those of you who are here, please stand. And our students, we have students here. Let's have our, you know, we wouldn't get very far here without students, so let's not forget that. So thanks to all of you for your leadership and your participation in everything you do and to make this a great and wonderful evening. It's now my pleasure to recognize this year's distinguished alumni award honorees. But before I do that, I forgot one thing. I wanted to recognize officially those who helped put this evening together. Meg, Cheryl, Katie, who's not here.
Right.
Meg, please stand. These are the members of our development team who work with me very closely in the Dean's office and who make events like this possible and do all kinds of things throughout the year to really make the School of Education a terrific place. So I wanted to make sure I did that before we move on. So it's my pleasure now to recognize and introduce to you our 4 honorees this evening. The first recipient of the honor tonight is Kimberly King Jupiter. Kimberly is a native of Gary, Indiana. She holds a bachelor's degree in sociology from Grinnell, a master's in higher education and student affairs, and a PhD in education policy from the IU School of Education. A product of Purdue University's Upward Bound program and a proud alumna of Horace Mann High School. She began her career in the Office of Admissions at the University of Chicago. The disparities in education that she discovered then led her to her graduate school program. As a graduate student at IU, Kimberly was actively engaged in efforts to improve the campus climate for diverse students by working collaboratively with campus administrators and through an editorial column that she wrote, that she penned under the name Lenise, a pseudonym. She began her faculty career at Auburn University, where she facilitated the establishment of the Sisters of the Academy Institute's SOTA, national headquarters, and worked collaboratively to design and implement SOTA's Research Boot Camp, a model for mentoring and supporting Black women in the academy. Kimberly also established the first community-engaged scholarship symposium, highlighting the value of community-university relations. From 2008 to the present, Kimberly has served as an education dean at 2 historically Black colleges and universities, and currently serves as a special assistant for research initiatives in the Division of Research and Sponsored Programs at Tennessee State University. Like her work at IU surrounding diversity, Kimberly has worked throughout her career to develop programs like Project NIA, Kemet Academy, and more recently, Students with Academic Greatness. All of these initiatives are designed to inspire academic excellence in those least served by our nation's schools. Kimberly is married to Victor Jupiter and is the mother of 3 children, Vincent, Haley, and Kaya. Kimberly, you are truly a force in the field of higher education, and we are delighted to recognize you as an Indiana University School of Education Distinguished Alumni. Please thank you.
What's up? How's it going? I am not a millennial, but I keep my nose on my phone, so I'm not texting, and I stay with trees, so I'll let you know that ahead of time. Nobody knows how to bring somebody back like I do. I have not been back in a while, and Bob has been working on me, so I guess you guys decided that if you gave me an award and let me talk to students on Thursday, I would come. So I did. I will tell you that as a first-generation college student from Gary, Indiana, when I was my daughter's age, I can't tell you that I thought I would ever be standing here receiving this award as an option. So when people like me receive an award like this, it's really an opportunity to reflect on the shoulders that we needed to get here, the village we've been able to establish that nurtures our children. But it's also a reminder that our children will chart paths with steeper trajectories for success because of what we do. I have never had the opportunity to have my biological and intellectual parents in one room. So I want to take a moment to really honor my mother. This is her first time on the campus for a ceremony like this, and my intellectual parents, Bob and Barry Bull. So if I could get you to stand, because without you, you wouldn't. Nadine, I don't call her that to her face, you can imagine. But since you don't know her, while Nadine made sure I went to college and did my best, Bob and Barry made sure that I was prepared to engage institutions in change so others could thrive as well as I have. I want to also thank my family, both blood and adopted. When you undertake a mission, you engage your family in that mission. Whether it's research or my service as an administrator, both are important to me. It's a part of who I am. None of it could be done without the village that surrounds me, and so I want to take a moment to introduce you. There's a bunch of them. But I have a huge crew. So if I could get my crew to stand, brace yourself. No, these are not children that I've had. These are simply people that help me do the work that I do. And so I want to take a moment, first of all, to honor my lovely and fabulous and handsome husband, Vincent Jupiter. And we gave birth to an 11-year-old. I know it's a shock. But at the same time, we have Kimberly Gold, who has joined me. We just finished her at TSU with a PhD in computer engineering. And she's actually, you're actually nurturing her. She's at Crane, so be gentle and be nice. And her friend Cliff, who I've just met, so I'm playing them, but we're new. But I also have with me Dr. Catherine Armwood. Her PhD is in civil and architectural engineering. She's on my research team. In fact, we just got an NSF grant for about $300,000 focusing on STEM education. And with her is Dwight Gordon, my colleague in research and sponsored programs, and he's worked with the IRS. He's my fiscal dude. So he helps us manage it. My youngest on the team is a psychology major, an undergrad, Shaniqua Aya Jones. She travels with us, and she is a heck of a researcher, and she's only a sophomore. Keep your hands off, she's hard. With her, my cousin Elise was a student here. She's one of your alums. She's traveled, her husband is also a alum, and she's brought her too. And then my niece is also here, Alice. She's sitting. I couldn't go any further without introducing you to my GA, who makes sure that while I was serving as dean, that I could still keep my research going, and that is Mr. Darion Greer. Did I get everybody? So we had a caravan up here. But it's impossible to do research while you're an administrator as you serve. You know how difficult it is. So I have a crew so that I can keep those two things important. Thank you so much. Thanks for greatly hosting us, and it's great to be back.
Congratulations.
I'm good.
Okay. Our second recipient of this year's Distinguished Alumni Award is Angela McNeils. Angela was born and raised in Indianapolis. She received a Bachelor of Science in Nursing from DePaul University and then completed 3 degrees at Indiana University, a Master's in Education, a Master's in Nursing, and a PhD in Nursing. Following her postdoctoral fellowship, she accepted the position at the IU School of Nursing in 2001, was awarded tenure in 2007, and promoted to full professor in 2014. She has made significant contributions to IU as well as to the state, national, and international academic and professional organizations. In January 2016, she accepted the position of Associate Dean for Scholarship, Innovation, and Clinical Science at the George Washington University School of Nursing. Angela is a leader, a scholar, educator, and educator transforming education through her evidence-based research, landmark studies, pedagogical innovations, and promoting the broad dissemination of her work. She has made impressive contributions to disciplinary understanding of the challenges of current clinical education models and how student-faculty interactions promote or fail to promote student learning. Her scholarship in interprofessional education furthers the mission of integrating mental and physical health into the community by preparing nurses, social workers, and medical residents to address psychiatric and mental health concerns in care delivery. Angela is a fellow of the American Academy of Nursing and the American Nurse Educator Fellow and a certified nurse educator. Angela, you are indeed a luminary in the field of health and education. It is my honor to recognize you as a distinguished alumna of the Indiana University School of Education.
I am old school, so I still wrote mine down on a piece of paper. Thank you so much to the School of Education and its Alumni Board of Directors for this award. I am truly honored to receive it. I want to also thank my husband for being here tonight and supporting me throughout my educational journey. I do have a confession to make and a short story to share. While working on my master's degree in in nursing, I took an elective course at the graduate school in the School of Education. The professor for that course was Dr. Travis Shipp, and he was absolutely amazing. He engaged all of us in using active learning strategies. I quickly realized I was going to learn more from him than I had ever learned from any other teacher. I also realized that if I wanted to be an excellent educator, I had to learn from the best. So my confession to you is, I did not start out to pursue a degree in education, but it was one of the best decisions that I ever made. Every day in my teaching, research, and leadership roles, I use the knowledge and skills that I learned here. And for that, IU School of Education, I thank you.
Congratulations, Angela. Our third recipient tonight is Fred Ramirez. Fred received his PhD in Curriculum and Instruction with a minor in Policy Studies from the Indiana University School of Education in 1999. His dissertation research focused on teachers' attitudes towards parents and parental involvement in high school. Fred is a professor of education at Concordia University in Irvine, California, where he teaches qualitative research for the doctoral program, action research in the master's program, and is currently developing new courses to promote the study of marine science. It sort of makes sense living in Orange County, Pacific Coast. Before his appointment at Concordia, Fred was a tenured professor at Cal State University Fullerton and Biola University, where he served as a teacher educator and graduate chair. Fred has been involved with education as an elementary substitute teacher, a high school teacher, and a high school baseball and wrestling coach. He's been an active member in his communities, serving as a volunteer within juvenile and adult prison systems, a youth group organizer, and as a first offender youth mentor. Currently, he is the founder and executive director of EdActs Global, a recognized nonprofit whose mission is to provide leadership opportunities and skills for youth by having them enter into partnerships with others in service projects in their communities and elsewhere. Fred is a sought-after international speaker and consultant, having worked with governments and agencies around the world. In his spare time, Fred enjoys teaching scuba diving, traveling, reading, and spending time with his family and friends. He and his wife, Michelle, have 3 children, Alex, Vanessa, and Michaela. Fred, your accomplishments as both an educator and as a community service ambassador are truly inspiring to all of us. It makes me very proud to honor you as a distinguished alumnus of the IU School of Education. Fred?
Well, technology is everywhere, so I brought my iPad. I wasn't going to use my phone, but I found the print was too small because I can't see. I'm going to do this. What an honor. What an honor. I too have a confession. When I was pursuing my master's over at Loyola Marymount University, one of my professors said, "Fred, you have to go on." And I'm like, well, I'm already in graduate school. He's like, this isn't graduate school, this is your master's. So I went out, I started to do everything that I was supposed to do with regards to applications, and IU was last on my list. Because all I knew about Indiana University was Bob Knight and John Mellencamp. That's it. That's it. But what was funny was all when I came back to my boss, I said, well, Jesse Goodman called me. I go, oh, Jesse Goodman. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And they started to talk about it. I'm like, well, who's Jesse Goodman? And all of them to a T said, if IU wants you, go. So I did. And one of the most troubling things, I think, for my girlfriend at the time, who was my fiance, was that both of us were born and raised in Santa Barbara, where people go to vacation because of the weather. And so we came out on this visit, and they brought us in the middle of spring. Tulips were up, the weather was beautiful, and we fell in love with it. And so we came here. Interestingly enough, one of the first persons in which we met was Bobby and Sarah. And one of the things in which they told us, well, that we commented on was, what's that plastic thing that's in the glove compartment because we rented a car? And they're like, oh, that's an ice scraper. We're like, what's an ice scraper? And then another time I came walking in, and I believe it was Sarah who said, are you getting ready for this upcoming winter? Do you have a coat? And I said, yeah, this is it. She's like, no, that's a jacket. You and your wife need to go get coats. And kind of like what Kimberly was saying, I wasn't meant to go on. I wasn't. I was that kid that sat in the back of class that teachers hated. I was told things. I was told things that people like you don't. People like you don't. And then it wasn't until a teacher for my sophomore year who literally took me under his wing and said, "Fred, you can do it." And with that, I came to Indiana, and that's where I learned that a lot of the literature about people like me was wrong. I don't speak Spanish. I wasn't part of a gang. I was living in Santa Barbara where people go on vacation. I wasn't living in an urban environment, and people like Jesse and Carlos taught me to use my voice. And I'm aware. And that inspired me to then learn and to start writing about other people's voices. And IU did that for me. And one of the things in which I take away when we left was that my wife and I, well, first of all, we were married, and 2 weeks later I brought her to Bloomington, bless her heart, because it was in the middle of summer. And gone were the tulips. Everything was gone. And then one night during winter, there were 17 inches of snow. And I'm like, oh, crew, we'll go play in it. And then the following day, I said, why isn't the snow gone? But we left, giving birth to one son, Alex, and then one of our daughters, Vanessa, and she was born here, and then like 4 weeks later we left, and then when we went back to California, we gave birth to another daughter. And one of the things in which I learned about was my voice. I am the grandson of immigrants, proud immigrants, who came here for the betterment of their kids and their kids' kids. And I think one of the things in which my kids have learned is that IU has a very special place in my life. And yes, they know the fight song. Yes, they get mad when I wear my candy striped pants when I'm watching the basketball game. But one of the things in which they learned, I hope, through me and through the voice of my mom, is that we do need to recognize the voices of others. And I'm proud to say that I did graduate from Indiana University. And I hope in turn that the faculty and staff, you keep on doing what you did for me, giving people voices. Thank you. Our final recipient tonight is Elizabeth Waite. Elizabeth is Vice Provost and Dean for Undergraduate Education and Professor of Sociology at the University of California, Merced. We're sticking with the California theme. She's also been an academic administrator focused on undergraduate education at St. Louis University and the University of Iowa. From 1997 until 2011, she was a professor in higher education and student affairs in the College of Education at the University of Iowa, where she also served as co-director of the Center for Research on Undergraduate Education. She was a faculty member at Oklahoma State University, Iowa State University, and the University of Illinois at Chicago. Elizabeth received a bachelor's degree in history and political science from Drake University in Des Moines, Iowa, a master's degree in college student personal administration from Michigan State University, and a PhD in higher education administration and sociology from Indiana University. Her research and scholarship focused on institutional conditions for student success, partnerships between academic affairs and student affairs, and issues and trends in student affairs practice and effectiveness. She has received awards for her scholarship, including the College Student Educators International and the Early Career Scholar Award in the Association for the Study of Higher Education in 1995, the Outstanding Contribution to Knowledge Award from the American College Personnel Association in 2007, and the George D. Koo Outstanding Contribution to Literature and Research Award from the National Association from Student Personnel Administration in 2015. In addition, she has served on the governing boards of the aforementioned organizations, as well as Division J of the American Educational Research Association. She was associate editor of the New Directions for Student Services Sourcebook series from 1996 until 2010, and was editor-in-chief from 2010 until 2016. Elizabeth, it is truly a privilege for me to recognize you as an IU School of Education Distinguished Alumni. Elizabeth?
Sorry, I can't keep a straight face for too long. Thank you, Dean Mason, and thank you to the School of Education Alumni Board of Directors for this incredible honor and humbling recognition. I've been feeling a lot of pressure to be eloquent at this moment, but I decided I'm going to have to settle, and you're going to have to settle for my expressions of gratitude. Because the School of Education and Indiana University changed my life. Not just the direction of my career, but how I was going to think of myself for the rest of that career and for the rest of my life. What I could, what I should accomplish with that life. It had never occurred to me to think of myself as a scholar. I expected that my career in higher education and student affairs would continue, would enable me, after spending time at IU, to continue to attempt to make a difference in my world, wherever that world was. And research and scholarship weren't part of how I thought about that life. And then Professors David Clark and George Koo and Don Hostler came into my life. And their encouragement and their support, the unsurpassable opportunities that I received here, and their belief in me challenged me to think differently about how I needed to proceed from here, what my gifts were, and how I could be a better steward of those gifts after being at IU. I value the fact that the learning and the interests and the research questions that first intrigued me here, institutional conditions for student success, cultures in colleges and universities, trends in the evolution of student affairs administration, are all things that were sparked here and have persisted since. And so it means a great deal to me to have that foundation, the things that I've been able to do to build on that foundation, to be honored in this way. I need to say, too, that my classmates in the School of Education in Indiana were also a significant part of my experience here. They were, and still are, an astonishingly talented group of administrators and scholars, and 3 decades later, we're still supporting each other. So now to the expressions of gratitude. First, to my colleagues who nominated me for this award, particularly Don Hostler, who coordinated the nomination, and to my other guests this evening that I want to recognize, each of whom was and is part of that life-changing experience that I had. It's so great to be back here and to be reminded what a beautiful place this is and what a privilege it was to spend time here on my education. So Jill Carnegie, who's my Hoosier and my Spartan friend of more than 40 years. Connie Rushalinsky, who was a friend to doctoral students in the School of, he's a doctoral students in the School of Education during her long career. And to George Koo, my mentor, my colleague, still, after all these years, then, now, always. And so thank you again for this honor.
Please join me once again in honoring our 4 ladies. I think you'll agree with me that their contributions to their various fields has been outstanding, and obviously they are representing our university and our School of Education so well. And it's with great pride that we are able to come together tonight and honor them in this way. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's dinner, and I thank you for joining the School of Education Alumni Association Board of Directors and School of Education as we honor our truly outstanding individuals. I just realized I'm reading the part of the, this is Dave's speech. I just turned the page and kept going. This is really embarrassing.
I don't get much time. I want a little bit more mic time. I know that we have quite a few folks who have been here year after year after year, and I see those familiar faces. I was sharing earlier as a graduate student, when I was doing my doctoral coursework, we were in a cohort model, and we met, Dr. Crow remembers this, we met down the hall. And on these weekends, I was always so envious of this party and what was happening here. And so it's been my pleasure to join in these last few years. Many of you are here for the first time, and if you're here for the first time, I think there's no question that you leave understanding not only why this is a wonderful night for the school, but also a very important night. So we're grateful that you've joined us, and hopefully you'll be back with us again when we do this again next year. I do want to put a very brief plug in for the Alumni Association membership. And many of you who are here, who are graduates, are members of the Alumni Association. Your membership makes nights like tonight possible. And so thank you for your membership. This does conclude our program. I'd like to invite all of the award recipients to come forward for formal photos. And thank you all very much for joining us. Good night.